Hello everyone, this is Remlays from 40k Theories and welcome to the November 2017 Patreon Q&A video. As always, these are questions submitted by Patreon supporters, so to ask your question, head over to the 40k Theories Patreon page, become a patron, and comment on the video's Patreon post. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at these questions. Now, it's worth pointing out that I have not researched prior to answering these questions, so if I get anything wrong, just comment below. I'll hold my hands up and say, okay, you know what, I was wrong. I always do. So anyway, Austin Horner asks, would it be possible for a minor Chaos God to possess someone? I know that they temporarily summoned Malal one time. Yes, Malus was summoned into the material realm by the Sons of Malus Chaos Warband. The main problem here is, where do you differentiate between a minor god and an extremely powerful demon? That's where you need to try and find the line. I think if it's a minor god, if it was a small enough god, then yeah, I think it would be possible. I mean, just look at the Eldar avatars. Considering the avatar of Cain is literally the shard of Cain possessing an Exarch and being awoken by his sacrifice, I think it's possible. Diego Flores asks, if you ever have a chance to play a game with another YouTuber like Leaky Cheese, would you make a battle report out of it? Oh, absolutely. I'd love to. I just need to be able to get my first game of 8th edition in. Arrol asks, have you, as an Inquisitor Lord, ever enacted the Act of Exterminatus upon a world, and if so, for what reason? Yes, I have. I blew up a world because they forgot my milkshake when I ordered a burger. The most heinous of crimes. Most heinous. Nat3.Despelays asks, as stated in the book Dark Imperium, Gilliman thinks that one day Archimagos Kor will become a problem for him to deal with, as he wants to become the Fabricator General. However, Gilliman does not give him the position. Seeing as how Kor is one of the most powerful Archmagos in the galaxy, do you think Kor would raise an army and take the position by force? That's an interesting question. We know that Kor is essentially a borderline heretic, because he's been developing all this new technology, much to the chagrin of the other members of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It depends if he can get a large enough army to try and take the position by force, because if Kor tries to steal the position of Fabricator General, not only does he have to deal with the forces of the current Fabricator General, but he will also have to try and deal with the forces of any others loyal to them. So be it Kor's forces against, say, the Skitarii of Mars, the Collegia Titanica, maybe the Lucifer Blacks of Terra. The Custodians are probably jumping, say, oh, we can't let this shit go, too close to home. Maybe Sister decides to be forced in as well, so even if Kor attempted it, I don't think he'd be able to do it. He would not be able to succeed in a coup. Luke Welsh asks, after you were thrown out the window for suggesting that the Emperor is an arsehole, how far did you fall and did your mask crack? Also, how many skulls do you have spare? I fell about 3 feet. It wasn't a very high window, it was on the ground floor. Didn't get cracked, but it did get a little bit scuffed. Nothing that a power sander couldn't cure. Cayman Astartes asks, what if the Cabal had come to Rabute Gilliman with their outcomes for the heresy, with Rabute declining their offer, then the Cabal going to Alpharius with it? Would this make better law for the creation of the Primaris Space Marines, as Rabute would be thinking of the negative outcomes of the heresy which led to their creation? I don't think so. No, I don't think that would be better law. I personally think it'd be better if Gilliman just turned around and said, when someone asked, how did you come up with the Primaris Astartes? And Gilliman just said, oh, I learned the secrets from my brother Korax when he made his Raptors. Because the Raptors were the Proto-Primaris, and then the Alpha Legion came along and fucked it up for everyone. Brent Fees asks, would the Relictors be considered full-blown Chaos Space Marines by now, or are they still loyal renegades? Does their active use of Chaos artifacts and power cross that line for them? That's a difficult one. I'd still say they're a loyal renegade, even if they are considered extreme. Because you get a lot of extreme Inquisitors, Radical Inquisitors, sorry, who end up using things like demon weapons. So it's... until they actually start worshipping chaos itself... then again... See, there's a very fine line between Renegade Marine and Chaos Marine in certain aspects. You know, if they're still loyal to the Emperor, then they're still Renegade, rather than full-blown Chaos Space Marines. What seems to make someone a full-blown Chaos Space Marine, regardless if they worship Chaos or not, is if they fight against the Imperium, a fight against the Emperor. Because if you look at the Night Lords and the Alpha Legion, for example, overall, I mean, yes, there are, you know, certain fringe groups within each legion that do worship the powers of chaos, but overall, they do not worship chaos. They are in it strictly for their own material gain, which technically would make them more renegade as akin to Chaos Space Marines, but because they fight against the Emperor, they are Chaos Space Marines, so it's a very, very fine line. Zero Hits asks, the AdMech have several rules and regulations in place in regards to the development and research of new technology, in particular the rules against using Xenos tech and other unapproved sources. The Dark Mechanicus do not always follow these rules and have greater freedom in creating technology and war machines for the traitors of the Imperium, which we do see examples of on occasion. Given how they've had 10,000 years and the appearance of the Tau and their juicy technology, how is it that the traitor forces have not completely outdone the Imperium in technology just yet? That's actually a very interesting point. I think the problem with the Dark Mechanicus is that they're not so much trying to create new technology by reverse engineering Xenos tech, they're trying to create new technology by using demonic rituals. They're trying to bind demons to technology. It's why you get things like, you know, the demon engines and stuff like that, as opposed to, say, just, you know, a giant crisis suit protecting chaos sigils, screaming death to the false emperor and shooting railgun bullets. I think they're just more focused on rituals now, as opposed to technological progression, which ironically puts them round at the same level as the Imperium in regards to technological advancement. Kari Wellfong asks, now that Grandpa Smurf is in charge of the Imperium, what other changes do you think he might make canon or TTS canon? TTS canon, I just can't wait for him to come back, and then the Emperor goes, oh shit, no, it's the Papa Smurf, he's back. In regards to changes to the Imperium, to be honest, I don't think he's going to make any changes at this point in time. I think he's going to be more focused on, we need to get this shit fixed, because, oh my god, the galaxy has been split in half by a warp rift. But once the situation has stabilised, and if the warp rift closes again, then we might actually start seeing some more changes. For example, we might actually see a full reform of Imperial government in one way or another. Then again, things might change again when one of the other Primarchs inevitably shows up. Most likely Lionel Johnson, because currently, aside from Gilliman, the Lion is the only Loyalist Primarch who is confirmed to be alive. Because let's be honest, Vulcan, presumed dead. Jagatai, lost in the Webway. Russ and Corax, they fled into the Eye of Terror. Dawn, presumed to be dead. You know, Lion's asleep. Gilliman's up and about, knocking shit over. Who was the other one? Oh shit, who was the last Primarch? I'm gonna piss someone off by not remembering. Ah, fuck it. But yeah, when one of the other Loyalist Primarchs shows up, things will probably change again. Oh yeah, Sanguinius, he's dead. I just remember now, Sanguinius, he's dead. Brent Feast again asks, is there a particular reason why Leman Russ has an Imperial Guard tank named after him, or is it just because they revere him? This has actually changed a few times from what I can recall. I think the oldest editions of 40k had Leman Russ discover the STC, and then it was named after him. But then later editions changed that to the STC was found on the world that the Space Wolves liberated. I think that one's the current story, but I could be wrong. Commissar Elusive asks, if the call goes out for volunteers to begin colonising Mars, will you answer? Honestly, probably not. And that's it for questions for this month's Patreon Q&A video. So if you want to ask your own question, comment in the comment section on the Patreon page. And until then, this has been Remlace from 40k Theories, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.